Alright, what's up YouTube? Okay, so today I thought we'd talk about the 23f2. It's another one of those little, small, compact primes, Fuji calls them. Some people call them Fujicrons. Tiny little f2 lens. Great lens. It's another one of those lenses that I've owned for almost a decade, I think about 7 years. I bought this the year after I bought my X Pro 2 and 35mm f2. I bought it along with the 50 f2, however I didn't keep the f2. I traded that one in on the original 56 1.2, so that's why I don't have that lens and why I won't be making a very long-term review on that lens. Okay, so I've got my iPad over here with some little notes. I thought I'd get a little bit more detailed with this review than I was with the 35 f2. Okay, so price new on this lens is $450. That's what I paid for it back when I bought it, so there hasn't been any price creep, which is nice. I mean, we all know inflation and all that. We all know how that's going. Used price, it's still around $300, $350. I think I did a price check at mpb.com and they were $320. This is a 35mm equivalent lens. Really good, all-around, standard wide, standard lens. It just is. What's really cool about this lens and the 35 f2 is they have the same objective diameter. Is that what that's called? This thing right here, They both are 43mm, so you can share lens hoods and filters, which is really nice. I've done that before. It saves you time. Great pair of lenses these two are, the 35 f2 and the 23 f2. It has 9 aperture blades. I've never noticed any issues with the bokeh. It weighs 6 ounces, I think. It weighs enough to where it feels like it's quality, but it's not heavy enough to feel like it's, you know what I mean? It's not going to weigh you down. It's not going to weigh your camera down. It's nice. It handles well. 10 elements in 6 groups. 2 of those are spherical. I can't tell you what that means. I am a photographer, not a scientist. It takes pictures. It works. Okay, so some of you guys might be wondering why you might choose this lens over the 1.4, even the older 1.4. It's a whole extra stop, right? Well, to answer that question, size. The 23 f2 is significantly smaller. If I take the lens hood, you can see too. Here, maybe if I... Yeah. Significantly smaller and lighter. That's the real advantage of the f2 maximum aperture on this lens, is it allows this lens to be nice and small and compact. This lens, just like the 35 f2, just like the 23 1.4, is fully weather sealed throughout, not just at the mount here. You can look online and find images where there's a seal at each, I guess you'd call it, seam of the body being assembled. Weather resistant. Just hide my face so the camera will focus on the lens a little bit for you guys. Yeah. Just like the 35 f2, it is metal. Nice clicky aperture. So speaking on that aperture ring, there have been a few times where I've been taking pictures and then I look down and it's on like 3.2 or something goofy like that. It slipped. You know what I mean? It slipped over. Like it didn't fully click over. It just kind of slipped over just enough, and that was enough for the lens and the camera to go ahead and think that I had moved it when I didn't. Let's see. The autofocus, just like the 35 f2, it's got the same motors in there. I'm pretty sure DC motors. It's snappy and it's quick and it's quiet. You'd have to be in a near silent room to hear this thing. Okay. So my big issue with this lens, and the reason I did decide to go ahead and purchase this one, the 23 1.4 linear motor version, is because I'm a photographer like all of you. I enjoy bokeh, right? So this is a fairly wide lens at 23 35mm. That means you have to get close to stuff to get bokeh out of it, right? that also means that you probably want to shoot wide open at f2. This lens is notorious for being soft, wide open, and up close. Oh, my wife texted me. That is my biggest issue with this. Some of you guys might know that the X100F has the exact same problem. And I think that's because optically these are the same lens. The X100F and this lens, I think they're the same lens. Don't quote me on that, but I think they are. Okay, well, wrapping it up here. Overall, I think that if your budget is around $400, maybe around $320-ish, $350-ish used, I don't think you can go wrong with this lens, especially if you don't mind the softness up close, wide open. The softness up close goes away at 2.8, 4 for the most part, so it's not that big of a deal. But I like a shallow depth of field as much as I can get anyway. So, but you know, at the end of the day, other than that, this lens has not failed me. It has been reliable. It's been there for me when I needed it. Just like the 35f2, this lens has never failed me. It's the entire time I've owned it, I've never had to send it back to Fuji. I've never had to send it in for repair. It just works, just like the 35f2 does. It's been to Florida with me. It's been to Colorado with me. It's been several places. I have taken this everywhere. And when my wife and I worked at the paper briefly, this was a go-to lens. She worked there much longer than I did, for a couple years as a reporter. She used her Fujifilm X-T2 in this lens for, gosh, almost all the work she produced for the paper. So this is a reliable piece of equipment. I think it punches way above its price if you can get past the sharpness, lack of sharpness up close. Okay, well, I think that's going to be it for this video. Just to reiterate again, metal, weather sealed, f2 aperture, small, lightweight, economically priced in my opinion for what you're getting. The image quality this thing pumps out way above its price point. Like I said, if it was not for the problem of up close softness, I would not have purchased this lens, just like I didn't buy the 33 1.4 and I'm still using that 35 f2 for my 50mm equivalent photography. Alright, well, thank you for watching. I appreciate you clicking on the video. And I'm shocked that we've almost hit 300 people. I really appreciate you guys. I put a lot of work into these videos, at least I feel like I do. And it means a lot that you guys are clicking and watching and subscribing. Alright, well, thank you. And I'll see you in the next one.